Hi, everybody. It's another day. It's a special day because today is my sister's birthday, and she gloats over this one because we are 2 years apart, and my birthday is on May 28th. So for these 2 weeks, she's going to say, "You're not 2 years old." She's played this game with me our whole lives. And the thing that's really unique is on her birthday is when she gave birth to her son, my nephew, Nick. So I'm wishing happy birthday to Debbie and to Nick today. Happy birthday. I'd sing it, but I don't want to destroy my channel here. So, I did same old crap today. Took the dogs for a walk, did a little yard work, did the marketing, doing this, and then I'm going back out to do some thinning of some bushes that have turned into trees. And then I'm going to come back this evening and do some practicing, just trying to keep my chops up, like so many. I mean, it's like you're doing these things, but at the end of the day, it's not like really playing. So I try to get in and spend a little time digging in. Also, it's not bad. I WD-40'd the mechanism in this chair, so probably in the middle of the song I'll just like collapse backwards. When I worked with Jimmy Reed back in the 60s, he did that. He was sitting on a chair doing a gig, just rocking, going, "You got me running, you got me hiding," tips over backwards. Completely, bam. And the only thing the audience sees at that point is the bottom of the chair and the bottom of his shoes. And he's laying there. "You got me run." I mean, it was unbelievable. I'm standing there going, what do we do now? And he finished the song, and then we stood him up and got him back on the chair again. I do love that period of my life, man. There was some crazy stuff to deal with. But Jimmy was something special. But I'm kind of toasty today, so I'm gonna do just a little song, a beautiful song that I do with Judith Owen. This was on her. Which album is this? I can't remember. This was the one before Rediscovered. Blanking out here on this. It's a song called Josephine. And Judith and I do this as a piano and bass duet. And I love Judith's writing. I had done a while back, I did the Black Hole Sun and her version of it in 5/4, kind of a la Dave Brubeck. Some of the responses were unbelievable to it. Like, "Man, this is a sacred song. You shouldn't mess with this. Don't touch this." Chris Cornell would lose his mind over this, but his family loved her version of it. She played it for them, and it's it's just funny. Everybody's got their own thing. There's certain, it's like taking a great old movie and remaking it, and you go, why did you do that? But sometimes they turn out great. And with Judith, it was really fun. Her album Rediscovered is a really interesting album. She has this unique ability to take songs that you recognize and make them into something completely different. And on that album, she's got a couple of Joni Mitchell songs that she did amazing stuff with. She's got a song by Drake. She does Smoke on the Water. That's just really cool. All kinds of really, really cool stuff on it. But this is from the previous album, and it's called Josephine. So I'm going to do this and then yak a little bit, and then I'm going to go get excuse me while I whips out my lopper and go at my trees. So hold on just a second. We are going to get going here.
I will light this candle
Josephine. It's me, Judith. I always love these moments. We also do a really beautiful version of Blackbird as a duet. That's great. It's maybe some point I'll put that on. But if you're not familiar with Judith, just Google her up and look on YouTube for her stuff. She is a unique creature. A gifted pianist, singer, songwriter, actress, comedian. She's really kind of got it all. Welsh, and she's married to Harry Shearer. I mean, how can you go wrong with Harry in the equation? You got a little Spinal Tap and Simpsons rolled in there. It's funny with Harry. I worked on the music for the Tracy Ullman show when that was on TV, and that's where the Simpsons first appeared, was as a little snippet in the Tracy Ullman show. And Harry was involved then, and lo and behold, all these many years later, when we were talking at one point, we went, man, we've been working together a long time. We really realized it. And in the same way that Harry's, he's Spinal Tap. He's one of the cats, and he's Derek Smalls in Spinal Tap. But we did a predecessor to Spinal Tap called, I think it was called Rock and Roll Nightmare. And it was going to be like a TV movie or something like that. And it eventually evolved into Spinal Tap. So that one never saw the light of day. But my history with Harry goes back a long ways. And to be working with Judith is a real treat. She's remarkable. We've been putting up a bunch of a cappella videos. So if you get a chance, go check those out too. They're on under Judith Owen. They're probably on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, all the social media stuff. So check her out. I adore working with her, and I look for many more years to come of our relationship. One thing I've had so many inquiries about different things. I'm going to try to cover lots of territory with these, because this has evolved into something bigger than I ever anticipated. And I'm really excited. Tomorrow night, I'm going to be talking live with Rick Beato, or Beato. I forget how he pronounces his name. I just know him as Rick. But we're going to get together, live stream Zoom, and be yakking together. So if you catch this and you want to get there, come tomorrow, and we'll see what kind of nonsense these scoundrels will come up with. But one of the things that I wanted to pass along is, when I'm working on material for tours or in the studio, one thing I think that's really important to focus on as a player is know everybody's parts. You don't just know your parts. When I was out with Toto, I mean, I could close my eyes. I knew all the keyboard parts. I knew Luke's parts. I knew Lenny Castro's parts. I know the vocals. Even if I can't sing them, I know them. And I know placement. And by knowing all that, it allows you to craft parts that fit in seamlessly into it. I remember when Phil had called me to do his the tour for, it was the No Jacket Required tour. Just before we started our rehearsals in London, I was in Rio with James Taylor doing the first Rock in Rio festival. And while everybody was out enjoying Rio, I was sitting in my hotel room learning Phil's music. I had done the No Jacket, album just before this, but I wasn't there for face value. So I didn't, some of the stuff I had to learn. And I was learning, and I learned all the horn parts. I learned Daryl Sturmer's parts, Chester Thompson's parts. I mean, I had this stuff down because I was the new kid at that point. So when we got to London, I wanted to be prepared. And it was so great because we got to London and none of the guys could remember any of this stuff. So I ended up being the guy telling everybody what their parts were on some of the stuff. But I've always approached what I do that way, when I'm doing these songs, I'm not really listening to my bass part. Like on this, I'm listening to Judith's vocal and piano, and I'm trying to weave within it. And it's the same with all the Phil stuff I've done, and Amanda Marshall and Vanessa Carlton and all these. It's to me, it's a really important thing to be immersed in the song. And the last thing I really pay attention to once I kind of know what I'm doing is my parts. I'm really listening to everybody else. And especially when you're in a live performance where you do have balance, which I keep bitching about this here, that it's the relationship that I'm listening to is really unlike how I would normally be playing music. Sometimes it's very hard to hear like where the downbeat's really laying because of this mix situation. But try to learn everything about each song you're doing so that there's no surprises, and you're not doing things that are getting in the way or not enhancing. I mean, to me, my job is always to bring the best I can to a song without, going into a dig me moment. It's you really want to do what you can to enhance it. So that's my little words of wisdom for today, if that's wisdom. I just wanted to wish everybody as good a day as possible. And I was at the market, and everybody's being cool. Everybody's keeping distance, had masks on, and it felt very civilized. I've seen some uncivilized things going on the news, but here everybody's been pretty cool. So I'm grateful for that. And again, shout out to all the people that are making our lives function in this bizarre and unbelievably strange situation that we find ourselves in. So thank you to everybody out there who's working their butts off every day and putting themselves in harm's way to try to sustain this world until we can get through this incredible time in our history. So you guys are the best. I'm having just the best time with this. It gives me something to look forward to every day, and I'm really excited about it. And I'm thinking about all kinds of different things to be playing, from more Billy Cobham to Vince Gill to, it's just like, there's a lot of things. Some of the things people are asking for are production-wise so deep and so involved that it would be very hard for me to do them here and make any semblance out of them. I'll see what I can do, but some things are just too much to take a bite out of under these circumstances. So I'll see. I'll try to do the best I can with all of this. So for the moment, I've completely ignored the man behind the curtain back there, but at least I did the WD-40. So I'm grateful for that. So I'm going to hit the button and say I will see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow.